Welcome to Born to Win. I'm Brian Proctor, and each Monday I'll be sharing a short message to help you start your week with focus, clarity, and intention. Every episode is designed to remind you that success isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. You were born to win, and when you live in harmony with the laws of life, you begin to experience that truth in every area of your life. Last week I talked about decision, the moment where desire and goals crystallize into committed action, and how a real decision clears the fog, sharpens your focus, and brings your mind into alignment with the direction you want to go. But once you make a committed decision, the next question becomes, how do you hold that decision each day? That's where today's lesson comes in. Today we're talking about one of the greatest lessons I learned from my father, Bob Proctor, the truth that attitude is a daily choice. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's get started. I want to tell you why attitude matters more than you think. When you hear someone say, she has a great attitude, or he has an attitude problem, what you are hearing is a person mistaking the word attitude for behavior, because attitude is so much more than that. I was taught that attitude is a composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Earl Nightingale, one of my father's early mentors, called attitude the magic word. And he called it the magic word because it's the fundamental, controllable factor that shapes our reality, determining how we perceive the world, how others react to us, and ultimately, the success or failure that we experience. Attitude is the way you choose to show up each day, and your attitude will determine the vibration you move in throughout your day. If you are looking for the good in every situation, and your modus operandi is that of gratitude for all there is, well, you will naturally be moving through life at a higher frequency and attracting that which lives at that higher frequency. You see, your attitude, it acts like a mirror. And just as a mirror reflects back your physical image, your attitude is reflected back to you through your experiences and attitudes with others. The attitude you project outward will influence what you receive. It is like a giant feedback loop. For example, two people, they can experience the same circumstance and respond in completely different ways. And the difference isn't their intelligence or their past or their resources. The difference is attitude. And the feedback each receives from the world would also be different. You guessed it, based on their attitude. You see, how you treat yourself and others, and how you navigate both challenges and opportunities is a daily choice, and the quality of that choice shapes you. The universe is not playing favorites. You can influence the quality of your days and your life with how you choose to show up. A common mistake people make is that they think attitude is shaped by circumstances, as if it's something that happens to us. I woke up late, now I'm in a bad attitude. My boss said something rude. Now I'm in a bad attitude. It's cold and rainy. I can't have a good attitude today. But a good attitude is not the result of perfect conditions. A good attitude is the cause of better conditions. This is one of the hardest shifts for people to understand. You don't have to have a good attitude because life is good. Life becomes good because you have a good attitude. Attitude is proactive, not reactive. It is chosen, not given. It is cultivated, not assigned. The moment you understand this, you step into emotional freedom because you'll understand it comes from inside of you. So let's talk about attitude and vibration and why it changes results. Your attitude determines your vibration, the frequency at which you choose thoughts and the feeling that you attach to them. Remember, in the conscious thinking mind, you always have the choice to accept or reject an idea. Your attitude will determine the people, opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that move toward or away from you based on that vibration. And that vibration is determined by your attitude. Do you see the looping pattern here? Now, your attitude really is your vehicle to success. Because a calm, confident, expectant attitude, it's like a magnet that attracts good toward it. A resentful, complaining, resistant attitude is like a shield that pushes good away, and when you are in that low vibration, negative is all that you will see. You may not control everything that happens in your life, but you can intentionally control the vibration you are in, and that vibration influences what happens next. So let's go deeper into the 3 parts of attitude. Number 1 are thoughts. You are always building positive and negative ideas from the thoughts flowing into your conscious mind. 2, feelings. Your attitude is affected by how your thoughts make you feel. When you attach emotions like love or anger to a thought, you create an image, and that image enters your subconscious mind. And number 3, actions. The body moves into action based on the feeling. By choosing to respond positively instead of reacting, you maintain a higher vibration attitude. A true attitude shift begins with a chosen thought that moves into feeling and expresses through action. Let me say this another way, using my father's example of the stick person to understand this better. It's quite simple. Draw a big circle. Next, draw a line that runs horizontal through the middle. Now simply draw a stick figure body with a small circle representing the body. The large circle represents your mind, and the small circle your body. The reason this simple image is powerful is because it brings order to your thinking. It is like having the puzzle lid as your guide when constructing a puzzle. Above the line is your conscious mind. This is where you originate thoughts from the energy that is always flowing to and through you. Below the line is your subconscious mind. This is the feeling part of your mind. It represents the thoughts you have allowed to become a part of your belief system. You did this by getting emotionally involved with that thought. From the subconscious flows your actions through your body, and your attitude is the expression of all 3. Thoughts, your conscious mind, feelings, subconscious mind, and actions, your body. So when we talk about improving attitude, we're really talking about shaping our thinking, elevating our emotional state, and acting in harmony with a person we want to become. Now keep in mind, you could be thinking a negative thought, but sending out positive feelings, and this would cause the body to act in a positive way. The reason for this is that you are not emotionally attached to the negative thought. You have not impressed it into your subconscious mind. Negative actions occur when a person lacks the skill to manage feelings. I want this to be clear because we all have negative thoughts occasionally, and it's a dumb game to beat yourself up for having those thoughts. It's what you do with the thoughts that counts. So how is attitude a daily choice? It is because attitude is subject to erosion. Think of all the things you have coming at you in a day from a million different directions. It's easy to get knocked around like a pinball. You may start your morning with clarity, intention, and gratitude, but by lunchtime you have emails and stress or someone else's energy. It may have knocked you off center. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. The goal is not to maintain a perfect attitude 24/7. The goal is to become aware of when your attitude shifts so you can choose again. Attitude, it's a daily practice. A mental reset you choose over and over and over. I remember hearing my father answer when asked if he always had a good attitude. He would say, "I am not always at a high vibration, but I am almost always at a high vibration." You see, he was so practiced at recognizing and changing his vibration that he could do it in an instant. He would turn on beautiful music or pick up one of his dogs. Sometimes he would simply step outdoors. He was always a pro, regardless. When I was young, if I was frustrated about something, my father would pick up on it quickly and he'd ask one simple question. "Brian, is your attitude making this better or worse?" That spotlight on my attitude was often the awareness I needed to make an adjustment. He would remind me, you can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you show up. Decide who is going to run your day, you or the problem. I hope you borrow those words. Write them out to remind yourself of this truth. I still remind myself of those words today. So how do you know if a poor attitude is taking over? Well, here are some signs that your attitude is slipping. You're looking for what's wrong instead of what's right. You replay negative conversations. You assume the worst outcome. You speak in absolutes, always, never, nothing works. You blame outward rather than think inward. When you notice this happening, don't judge yourself. Don't shame yourself. Just breathe. pause, adjust, and choose again. Another tool is to ask yourself, is this attitude moving me closer to or further from the person I want to be? Not is it justified? You're not trying to win an argument. You are trying to realign. If the answer is no, you have a choice. I want to share with you now a 3-step formula to shift your attitude. The first is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. The second is expectation. Expectation is the confident anticipation of good. It is not wishing. It is assuming that good is moving toward you. And number 3, service. When you approach others with the intention to uplift, you cannot help but uplift yourself. The combination of gratitude, expectation, and service creates a solid and magnetic attitude. I've already shared that choosing your attitude is a practice you return to throughout the day. Now, I'd like to offer you some simple steps to help you begin your day aligned and grounded, and to keep that momentum going. In the morning, before checking your phone, rehearse this thought. Something good is going to happen today. Now think about and write down 3 things you are grateful for. Not things you should be grateful for, things you genuinely feel appreciation for. Throughout the day, pay attention to your body posture. Stand tall. Put your shoulders back and enter rooms with confidence. Refuse to complain. Complaining is the language of a negative attitude. Really pay attention to this one. And when you find yourself in a situation where this is happening, don't participate. You could also walk away. Then at night, reflect. Did my attitude make today better? Now here is your Born to Win attitude challenge for this week. For the next 7 days, say this upon waking. Something good is going to happen today. Then pause throughout your day and ask, is my attitude helping me or hurting me? And finally, end each night with, what did my attitude attract today? Pay attention to what changes. Remember, your attitude is not a personality trait. It is a daily choice, a decision to think better, to feel better, to live better. When you choose your attitude, you choose your vibration. When you choose your vibration, your results, they will elevate. You cannot always choose the events of your life, but you can always choose the attitude you bring to them. And that choice, repeated daily, becomes the difference between a life of resistance and a life of expansion. Remember, you were designed to win. You were built to rise, and your attitude, that's your vehicle. Now, before we wrap up, I want to share where we're heading next. Next week, I will be taking a deep dive into the barrier of fear, one of the most common forces that tries to pull you away from your decisions and your goals. Doubt often appears right after you choose a new direction. But once you understand its nature and how to rise above it, you become unstoppable. That's the work we'll do together next week on that podcast titled Overcoming Doubt. Thank you for joining me today on Born to Win. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who could use a reminder of their own inner greatness. It also helps me to reach more people if you rate and follow the podcast. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Brian Proctor Official. Hey, but be careful. Those copycat accounts, they are prolific. Always look closely at the spelling. I've noticed they like to slip in a double letter here and there. It's pretty easy not to notice. And remember, success isn't about luck or timing. It's about alignment. You were designed for success, built for expansion, and born to win. I'll see you next Monday. Until then, think big, trust yourself, and keep growing.